What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report. Congress is still away on recess, but ever since Senator Joe Manchin blocked the idea of President Biden's economic agenda back in December, Democrats have been working different plans to get something passed. Top Democrats and White House officials are wanting to move on a revitalized Build Back Better Act as soon as possible. And again, how soon, we don't really know, because some people want to push it back. Others want to discuss this bill to get done as soon as possible. But the key is that they are working on it. Again, multiple lawmakers, they say that nothing should even be considered until potentially July or later on this year. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he says that a vote needs to happen sooner rather than later. He also went on to say, and I quote, "We'd like to move a reconciliation bill and go as far as we can, as much done as we can with 50 votes. So what he is saying is the purpose or the goal right now is not to pass a bipartisan bill, because they know that's not going to happen, especially if it's taking a large portion of the Build Back Better Act and trying to push it through. So the only option is a reconciliation bill, which only requires 50 votes. So that's their plan. Now, the two particular senators that I'm referring are the Senators Kristen Sinema and Senator Joe Manchin. Those are the two that have been not against the Build Back Better Act as a whole, but against portions of it. But keep in mind that what I'm gonna say that right now is very one-sided. Okay, but I read multiple articles this weekend, and they talk about the things Democrats have gotten passed over the last couple of years. These things included enhanced child tax credit payments, things like $300 or $600 per week in additional unemployment benefits. $1,400 stimulus checks, $350 billion towards states and local governments, and a lot more. Okay, but that's fairly good list. Now, according to multiple economists, these things contributed to high inflation, and Democrats are gonna say Republicans are the ones that kind of got the ball rolling, and Democrats just came in and provided American people with what they needed. But now what Democrats are fighting for is they're fighting to control inflation by passing other provisions. Okay, and so this is what a lot of people are worried about, is we're trying to fight inflation, but by fighting it, the only way to fight inflation is to pass another bill. Economists say no, that's not the way to go about. I don't think Congress, or mainly Democrats, or anybody for that matter, could have predicted an 8.9% inflation rate. But what is so interesting is that this is true. Lawmakers pass bills. Now they're pushing for more relief from provisions that they passed themselves. And then we'll talk about the new provisions that we just passed and how it's gonna save the American people. How messed up is that? They have to come back and change the whole narrative and be like, okay, we saved you, yeah, you may have saved us now, but if you cause the problem, do you really save us? Right? It's a fireman, you'll be in the hero, but he's the one that set the fire. I know it probably won't happen, but there's seen cases where somebody sets the fire, right? They set the fire in their house and then they have to go and save everybody. Are you really the hero? I don't know, but I thought that was multiple very interesting articles that's kind of said the same thing, but let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section below. Now, I want to touch on the chances that we see a recession, because a lot of people have been worried that we are going to dip into a recession. And even though I don't think we will dip into recession, or even if we do, it will not be very long. There's always that chance that year we might. And I say this based off what is currently going on in the entire world. Okay, Goldman Sachs, they believe that there's a 35% chances of the recession within the next 2 years. Bloomberg and the Bloomberg economists, they believe, are about 27.5%, so a little more than a 1/4% chance that we are going to dip into a recession. Okay, now what we know is that in the next few months, there are a lot of big factors that we have to consider, as inflation is one of them. We're sitting at 8.9%. Now the expectation is we're likely to go up even further, and or we're gonna get into that 9% range. Now, do we go over 10? Some are predicting yes, we are going to go over 10% before inflation comes back down. And some say if you look at real inflation, true inflation, we're probably closer to 17 to 18%, not 8.9%. The other thing that we have to consider, another big factor, is COVID cases, both in China and the United States. Obviously, you know, COVID cases here in the US, they're going to impact us, right? It's here, it's local, but a lot of people don't realize how much of an impact COVID cases in China will impact us here in the US. Because it's not what we're gonna get sick, right? We're gonna contract COVID. Again, we're gonna see cases just ramp up. Now, could it happen? Of course. But the real worry and the risk is China has a zero COVID policy. That means they don't want anybody to have COVID, or they're going to lock down. While Shanghai is locked down, other cities are locked down partially and fully. That creates an issue because if what could get us into a recession, well, if businesses close, if our GDP drops for 2 consecutive quarters, right, that's a recession. Well, here's the problem. We get a lot of goods from China, we get a lot of goods, and if nothing's coming in because China's just locked down, we don't get anything, we get nothing. And if we have nothing to sell, how do we make money? Right, a lot of issues, but again, this is just another one that worries. Then obviously we still have the energy supply. You're over in Europe, right? What the war between Russia and Ukraine is still going to impact us. Just recently, US natural gas, this has surged to a 13 years high due to global supply and the shortages we're seeing there. So again, this isn't great news. There's a possibility we dip into a recession, and does it happen next 2 years? Yeah, it could happen in the next, few months. Yes, it could. But that's why a lot of people are worried is we don't know, we could be in recession now. We could be coming up on a recession the next, couple of months. We don't know this stuff yet, and that's a huge worry because of a recession. It causes businesses to stop hiring. Right, this causes a business to lay people off, or they will actually cut your wage, which is going to be a big impact, especially if we see the employment inflation. If we see continue past 8.9%, if we see that go up, or prices of everything cost more, but yet our wages are going down, that's going to be a huge worry. So as always, as I know more, I promise I'll follow you and all latest news and updates again. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you had an incredible weekend. Hopefully the week just goes as well. But again, thanks you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.